All right, 30 seconds. So the open about 20 actually. See what happens. But yeah, guys, remember news. Either get in front of it early or you wait. Those are really your only two options. All right, NQ's back into that new week opening gap right now, midnight open. Watch it to see if it's going to hold. If it doesn't hold, obviously, there's not really much for me to do there. I don't have an entry in any regard, so I'm not worried if it goes higher or lower. Here's your 9:30 open. There's your hourly candle. So you're starting to form a hammer. Starting to form a hammer on the hourly. Keep that in mind. The hour is, it's not really close to being done yet. So you give it some time. I mean, you technically have a 1 minute gap here. Sure, that's fine. Maybe you took that. It's a little too early for me. I don't have enough context in that regard. I do think above this is a better play. 30 open. Because we're respecting that new week opening gap. What will this stop be? ES is not holding anything just yet, so keep an eye on that. But NQ's showing a little bit of a reaction to that new week opening gap. Yeah, they definitely changed the hotkey because I cannot do it anymore. I don't know what happened. There's a little inversion here. Maybe this is an entry. It's respecting the new week opening gap. We might try it. It's nibble or something.
Order filled.
We'll see if it works. I mean, these things have been failing a lot lately, but if it works, that'd be cool. Target like right here.
Order filled.
So I took one off at the initial target that I had. Maybe I should have taken it all off. We'll see. Maybe the seat keeps going and surprises me a little bit. Yeah, like 450 or something. See if we can actually get one more push.
Order filled.
See, that's why we take partials, because it does shit like that all the time. It just will not hold. So yeah, that's why you trail and you take partials. Maybe I made a mistake by wanting a little more. I don't really think so. I don't really think it was a mistake. I was willing to open it up and try for more, so I'm okay with that. But yeah, what a piece of shit. What a piece of shit. I don't know how I always send the link to join the call itself, not the audience. I literally select the audience and it like switches. It's weird. So that's one scalp off the open. Just one contract out I took, I don't know, maybe $100 out of the market or something like that. Not too much. Yeah, 56, 57, so $110. Dude. Yeah, so it's just rolling over now. We'll kind of monitor it. I'll see how it kind of develops into 945. I think if we could put in a decent low, we can probably go ahead and reach back for this area because look how we fell short of that 15-minute gap. So I think that could be a draw on liquidity at some point. We're back into the new week opening gap, so I don't think it's like end of the world for the trade. Like look, there's like probably a 30-second right here. No, nothing. But yeah, I don't think it's the end of the world. It's just kind of whipping back and forth on the 15. So it's kind of why I don't like NQ really anymore. It's just like, yeah, let me just die real quick. And look at this. We're talking 433 to 341 in like 3 minutes. It's ridiculous. Less than 3 minutes. Yep. Yeah, I think so. A little bit of a reach in and then kind of bounce. Nice. Yeah, right now definitely playing it cautious. Not cautious, but I'm just waiting. I don't see much. I was willing to try that opening drive. I knew it had a likelihood of just reversing like that. That's happened to me so many times this year. So I'm never gonna overcommit to those. But I do want to see some sort of low form into 10 a.m. That'd be nice. The day is still super young. First 5 minutes is like it's like scam time. Nothing consistently good happens in the first 5 minutes. Let's see what I got. There's a bunch of like media in here too. Like I can play like songs and shit, or like drum roll. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, they have a bunch of shit in here. Yeah, look at this mess. This 1 minute is just ripping people up. So I'm going to look at ES. I want to see what the 1 minute looks like on ES as well. I think ES has potential to be a better trade today. So I'm not like ruling it out by any means. I'm actually paying close attention to ES as well. Just based on how choppy NQ's been, I'm not loyal to it by any means. We're still under prior day high. So obviously we do have the potential to form an inside day. I don't want to see that happen. I think if we form an inside day, downside is almost guaranteed for tomorrow. So ideally we see some sort of volatility into 945 that breaks us out of this opening range form a higher low for then for us to be able to trade into like 5,700. I do think yesterday's action was bullish, though. The way we closed, the way we inverted the fair value or the new week opening gap, the way we formed that low at the open, I do think it's a bullish development. So today would be either consolidation to then break higher, or obviously we get the inside day in reverse. So obviously we'll see. The 15 is still not closed, so you can see the 15's kind of whipping back and forth. NQ 5-minute looks decent. I can't lie. This looks decent. But yeah, ES is still underneath VWAP. It's still underneath 930 open. And we want the first 15-minute candle to close like a hammer, I think. I think that'd be a good objective especially for ES. If we get this to close a little bit stronger, then we can look to trade through here. What's the highest time frame I watch? Right now, the highest time frame that's in front of me is definitely the hourly. I have some daily candles too, but I'm looking at an hourly, a 15, a 5, a 1 on both ES and NQ. So I look at a bunch of them. I mean, when I'm doing analysis, I'll look at a weekly, sure. When I'm trading, rarely above an hour. It's most of the time I'm looking at the hourly structure. I just happen to have the lower time frames on this chart, obviously, because it's the smallest screen I have, so I keep them here. But what I'm looking at on the hourly, for instance, is really just this area down here, this purple area. It's like a 15-minute zone. But essentially, I'm just watching to see how are we going to hold here, and if we're able to hold here, then we're looking to trade up to here. So my target for this session would be based on an hourly chart in this red zone. But as far as execution goes, I mean, the ranges are kind of big. So yeah, smaller time frames is pretty solid. I mean, we're talking 46 to 25. That's a massive fucking range on the 1 minute for ES. Like that's massive. That's like a 15-minute range most of the time. Okay, sure. Okay, but you skipped the 4 hour. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Not always. I don't have it on my screen though. If that's your question. I don't have it on my screen. I'll look at the 4 hour. Pull it up right now. Wow. No, I don't see much. I'd rather look at an hourly because it's clearer to me. 4 hours, like, what do you want me to do with the 4 hour? I don't see. There's like one candle is literally our entire session. So for me, for futures traders, I don't see a point in looking at a 4 hour unless I'm swing trading. Like one candle is literally longer than I'm going to be in a trade, longer than I'm going to be at the screens. I'll be in a trade for 30 minutes or something. So 4 hours of very little use to me. Hourly closes make sense because we have a couple of them within the session, but the 4 hour is like one of the most, it's like arbitrary for day trading, in my opinion. I'd say the only notable difference between ES and NQ is obviously ES did not take this high right here, whereas NQ did. See, right there. I mean, yeah, I guess technically you do have a 4 hour close, so however this closes will help determine my bias, I suppose. But Yeah, generally speaking, the 4 hours, it's too large of a time frame for it to be useful to me like 99% of the time. Like most of the time it's not something where I'm like, wow, that's super insightful and I couldn't see it on a different time frame. Hourly is like a good balance for, especially for day trading. Swing trading by all means, use whatever you want. Crypto, use a 12-hour chart, use a 3-day chart. Just it really depends on the length of your trade. Okay, so we're getting this opening range right here. YM weaker on the day, I guess. Interesting. Bro hit. Can I make my mouse visible? Fuck yeah, it should be. Damn, that's annoying. Let me make it visible. General. Yeah, I'll figure that out for sure. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Drew, you hit DLL or what? Didn't you have it at 500? You had it at 500, no? I thought you upped it. If you up the DLL and you still hit it, is it the DLL's fault or like much larger stop this time? Gotcha. Yeah, I mean the structure is bigger. I won't lie to you there. It's definitely bigger. All right, so we're having a break to the upside, at least what appears to be a break to the upside. We're above VWAP. I'd be potentially looking for this to break out of this range, form some sort of clean higher low, and then take it. I don't need to enter right now. If it gives me a really, really, really clean entry, I'll take it before jolts and I'll just, risk it. But yeah, as it stands right now, there's nothing. Definitely a bigger stop on the day. I know that for sure. That's why you want to know DLL. So were you right or wrong? If you're like, sometimes you get stopped out. It's not. I don't think any size stop's gonna determine that. It's like, what do you normally do? Because I know for you, you normally take smaller stops. For sure. It's a big fucking range. So just remember if you're changing too many variables at once, because I know for you, you used to always have like a 15-point stop, like a really, really, really tight stop. So on a day like this, maybe it's 25 points, but it can't, yeah, sure, you might be able to have the 100-point stop or whatever it might be, 80-point stop, but does it have to be? That's, I think, a good consideration to make. Because I mean, I've definitely explored it. Or yeah, it's a larger range, no doubt. So you're gonna have somewhat of a larger stop, but yeah, I don't know. I would just weigh those things out. It's like, sometimes some shit sounds nice ideally. Oh, I want to catch every move. It's like, or you just take like that easy, easy, easy ass trade that you've always been good at. You don't necessarily need to. Here, let me actually do this. I know how to help you. Let me make my crosshairs. See, there you go. So now you guys can see my crosshairs, so you know where I'm talking. All right, so see this little breakaway that we're going through? Everyone's like, oh my God, you gotta hurry up. So now we can start looking for a trade. If it gives me a pullback into one of these, then I could take the trade. But up until this point, it's been arguable that I've been able to get into a trade. So we'll consider MES. I like MES a little bit better. We get the 30-second. Nice. Nice. All right, cool. So those crosshairs will help. Now we just monitor for some sort of pullback. I'm going to pull up the 30-second chart for both assets just to see if we get that little fair value gap. So we're kind of getting it on, right here. It's a little aggressive. Maybe I'll put an order there. Let's see. What does it look like? Maybe. I guess maybe I might have missed it. I don't know. We'll see. This isn't big size or anything, that's for sure. Um, Kind of torn actually. Let me see. Here, how about this? Because I'm waiting, I'm gonna actually look at this right here, and then because it could pull into the one below it, so maybe I'll give it a little bit of time. I don't think it'll hurt. I'll be a little more ready to execute though if it does come down into here. So let's see, maybe a 2-minute gap. No, nothing. So 5 minute look like okay. 5 minutes closing. Okay, so we have 10 minutes till news. This might go without me. I'm okay with it if it goes without me. I'd rather have like an entry that I really like than be in a trade where I'm like not sure about. So that's a pullback. I kind of think we'll go into this one. We'll see how we form a low at this one because if we can tap into here, yeah, maybe let's just put a limit in this area. We might not get it. Let me see. How do I want to do this? NQ is in that gap. All right, let's watch this next candle. It usually won't kill you to be a little patient. MNQ. See, MNQ's in this gap. And you have a cleaner order block right here.
Order filled.
Damn, that's a big range. All right, whatever. Oops. All right, we'll try this out. This will probably be the last trade I take if it works or if it doesn't or whatever. If it doesn't work, I'll be down $100 on the day, $90 on the day. If it does work, I'll make a little bit. So don't really like how it's consolidating at the highs too much, but I'll give it room. The stop is a little tight. Like I should have it wider technically, but we'll just keep it right here. It should technically be at 400, so it should be a little bit lower. Yeah, I don't think there's any issue holding through jolts. I'm pretty sure I've done it before on here. This should technically be a little wider, but if I get stopped, I'll just take it. Ew, it's very close. All right, it's gonna stop me. Yeah, whatever. I hate when it gets so close and you're just like, all right, hurry up, hurry up. Damn, that's like, how close did we get? I mean, I'm still not safe. It could easily stop me out. That's like 2 points, less than 2 points away. That's what I mean. The stop's supposed to be down here. It's gonna stop me right here. Watch. There we go.
Order filled.
Thank you. All right, now we'll reassess the situation a little bit. I could be done. Maybe I got in a little bit early, right? Or I didn't give it enough of a stop. I'm not in a rush. I don't think the trade's invalid. And yeah, so we'll kind of just keep an eye on it. Yeah, because I like this level. I might have just taken an early stop. I don't know. Give it some time. It's okay to take a shot at something and then kind of feel it out. I mean, I've seen better. The 5 minute doesn't look amazing. So I don't have a problem waiting right now. See, maybe there's some sort of inversion that I missed down here. Okay, now we're back. ES is holding up. That's the funny part. Should have just stuck with that fucker. Yeah, ES is holding. NQ's back into this inversion right here. The 5 minute looks 15 looks terrible. ES 15 looks a lot better. I think ES is the one to watch. If it's gonna hold, we'll watch ES. And we'll pull the 15 here. Yes, the 15's better. It's a better trade for sure. See what's the size? 8 points. Interesting. So we'll watch it, see how it bottoms out. NQ's pulling all the way back to VWAP, it seems. See how this is diving. See how it closes. I think I'll try this one. This is the original trade I wanted anyways. We'll see if it comes back above this gap. So basically the idea would be, I don't know where my pin is. Let's see. Like if it forms some sort of swing low right here and then comes back above, then we could target it for 5,700. But again, no need to catch a falling knife, no need to rush. This 15 is not looking great anyways. It's also, you're kind of playing with fire when you get in right before news like that, so safe to say we can wait. We tried one idea, had a tight stop on it. That was perfectly fine. The size is obviously a little bit bigger because the range is bigger, but it wasn't a big trade by any means. $190 is nothing. And just 3 micros or something like that. It's just a small range. But the volatility is so big that makes that like a whatever 40-point stop or some shit. 30-point stop. Yeah, so this setup, just by waiting, it doesn't look as great, but it could be an overshoot, right? See what the 2 minute looks like. Oh, 2 minutes being respected. 2 minutes being respected. Right at VWAP as well. Interesting. NQ looks like shit, per usual. This is starting to look like shit. Let's see what YM looks like. Does YM look like shit already? Yeah, not great. We'll watch this as a potential like break and retest. See, boom, boom. All right.
Order filled.
I'll get. It'll either stop me out real quick and we'll be done within daily risk, or it'll rip. I like how it's kind of coming back and retesting the structure. You have this gap right here as well. It's in this little bit of breaker that I see. Stops just below the swing point because it's obviously going to fail really fast or work really fast. So it's either going to be, this is like the higher low that we're looking for, or it's just wrong, which I'm okay with either option. I'd rather be done early today than kind of just go to war with this thing. Try a couple ideas. This is really the same as the last trade. I just think this asset's a little bit cleaner. So I don't necessarily advise ever really holding through news. I mean, do your own analysis on that. It's very likely that this thing gets stopped out, even if the trade works, but I'm willing to take it because I like the location and I think the drawn liquidity is super clear. I think it's super clear. So based on all of the circumstance and all of the information that I have, I'm willing to take the trade. NQ is bouncing right here as well. NQ really just did pull back to the 930 open and VWAP. It's just the range is too big for me to even tolerate that kind of stop. There's no point. Why am I going to take a massive stop like that just to maybe get a 1R out of it. There's just no point. So you got news in 20 seconds. This will either be interesting or it'll just be pretty anticlimactic and just stop me out real quick. The real risk you run with news is if this slips you, because then you could hit like your daily stop, or you can even go over your daily stop. See how it's kind of wicking? This thing's going to go weird right now. Watch.
Order filled. The market is in pre-open.
So yeah, stop me out real quick.
The market is open.
Oh, yeah, I guess I don't think you can hold through that then, maybe. $100. Still hit my stop, but that was weird. I've never really heard that before. It said market closed and the market opened. So maybe Jolts is something now that you can't hold through, but I've never heard that you cannot hold through news on Top Step. I've never heard that. So does anyone have info on that? Because I've literally never heard that noise. It just said market closed, market opened. I'm gonna double check that because that's weird. I don't know why it's saying that. As of current guidelines. Interesting. I know they've been changing a lot of rules. Interesting. I've never, ever, ever heard you can't hold through Jolts. This is Jolts, right? Yeah, Mikey literally held through Jolts like 2 weeks ago. Interesting. The plot thickens. So it appears the rules are changing. That's like a common denominator with a lot of these prop firms right now. Rules are changing. Watch, I'm going to ask him because I know he did, actually. I know he did. That's so funny. So I don't know why the same market's closed. I know obviously I got stopped out. I don't really care about that. I was very well aware of the risk that I was going to get stopped out. But it's worth a shot. If this worked, that would have been a great trade. Let's see. So I think I'm down like $200 on the day. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. As long as you're well aware of the risk that you take, who cares? It's not like I'm oversized for Jolts. I'm going to use a little bit of contracts. I'm going to use a very respectable stop. And then if it works, that's great. It looked like it might have started to, and then just give you the lower high. So now I would be concerned on, are we going to seek downside levels? That would be really my point of interest. See if we're actually going to break those London lows and then trade back to that new week opening gap for ES. Because now, if you look at the 15, you can see that we're respecting that bearish gap. I think that's a pretty obvious level so far. You just got to keep this in mind. We're kind of sandwiched between levels, so you definitely don't need to get too aggressive. I'm pretty sure I just got stopped out. But yeah, you can absolutely hold through Jolts. Gotcha. Because I just had someone tell me, they're like, yes, I've held through it. And I know I have. So, gotcha. That'll happen. Yeah. It makes sense. I mean, it was a pretty volatile reaction. It was weird that it said that, though. I'm not going to deny it. We'll watch this, though. If this is like some sort of low that forms here, because the 15 looks interesting, right? I never want to be like, oh, let me just take another one. But I mean, we'll just watch it. I'm not really bothered either way. I typically will try not to take a trade just because I don't see anything. But if something develops, so be it. We're still kind of hugging VWAP on NQ. ES is still in that range. So now it's like, yeah, I mean, both kind of formed a higher low. Let's see what let's see what YM looks like. Yeah, YM's not amazing. So we'll watch for the I want to see the opening range break in either direction, and then we can look to trade it. I think that's what we'll do, right? So just to kind of keep it clear for you guys, I've tried, I think, one upside break on NQ, one on ES, I believe. Yeah, one on ES and then another one on NQ. So the initial push on NQ worked. Probably could have taken more off, but yeah, just how the cards fall. So we'll see if this breaks to the downside, because what I'm seeing here is obviously going to be your new week opening gaps at like 5,600. So you'd want to be mindful of something like this. See. But again, unless it's like a clear break and a clear retest with like a fair value gap, I don't want to jump in it just yet, because it's very easy I'm telling you, it's very easy at these points to be like, oh, this is your order block, and then it just doesn't work and it rips higher. I don't think the location's ideal just to get short in the range. I need to see a break, because until the range breaks, obviously range rules apply where we can just kind of rip back and forth, back and forth. So awesome. Yeah, thanks, man. Glad you're liking the stream. Just doing just trying to make everything better, just trying to make it look good. Try to make it all optimal. Super easy to use too, and I'll be able to have more guests on. We've already had a guest on, so we'll definitely do more of that. So a good example of what it means to be patient, because you can say like, oh, 3 trades is whatever. I mean, I like the locations on them. There's a lot of people right now that would be long, short, all throughout this range. I tried a couple ideas. The last one I knew was super aggressive. I'm okay with that. I thought it might work. Do that enough times, it'll work, right? Like, I mean, I can think back to maybe 2 months ago where there was an example where holding through jolts was great. 3 months ago, there definitely was. So it's just, sometimes luck of the draw. But here's your break to the downside. Here's your fair value gap on the 30-second. Let's just watch this, because you have this level right here. It's a 15-minute low. Let's get rid of this breaker, because obviously it hasn't done anything for us. Get rid of that gap. Get rid of that level. So just be watching this right here. It's a 15-minute. All right, we'll watch what it does to this gap. It's either going to retest it or it's going to break through aggressively. I'm not super eager to get short because of the 15 right here. 15-minute gap. It can obviously cut through real easily, but again, it's not something that feels natural to me. Best way to keep an account is have a simple game plan and don't overdo it. Stay within your risk, obviously. You set those risk settings on Project X for a reason. Like, use it. Don't like set it and then change it. Just lock it the day before. That way you come in with a predetermined amount of risk as a budget. I guess it did test it, but we'll see. So it either starts rolling over here or we come back and we interact with this. Okay, there you got you had your reaction. I noticed, like right here, touched it twice, and now it's starting to move lower. You're in a new week opening gap. It appears on NQ, so you want to see if that's going to hold. Obviously, it's just a really tricky location to short. You know, I just look at it from this perspective. You're down how many 5-minute candles in a row? Are you certain that this 5-minute candle is going to close lower? That's kind of my perspective always. I'm aware that it's only we have 4 minutes left in this candle. We're already down here. So what's the likelihood that we flip? You know, sometimes, yeah, obviously, like it's just going to trend lower, but it's just something to always be aware of because conditions won't always be so one-sided. Most of the time with trading, you'll get a lot of back and forth. So it's better to keep that in mind than just perpetually just, oh, let me just short here, short here, short here. Same with longs. So tend to zig and zag, but just gonna watch it, see what's up. So these 3 down candles or 3 or 4 down candles on the 30-second chart, that if it gets closed above, that's essentially what forms that 5-minute hammer. That's going to give you a change in state if that were to occur. That's like the formation you'll see. You'll see a lower time frame create that little head and shoulders, and the higher time frame above it looks like some sort of hammer. Obviously, if it closes lower, for disregard, but that's the type of price action you'll see. So I'm always looking at what price could potentially be closing like based on the time left in the candle on the higher time frame, because ultimately that will help dictate if I want to get in a trade, because I can see where the invalidation point is, or I can see where the trade's reversing, or whatever the case might be. But yeah, as it stands right now, hasn't been much for me. I mean, I like the shots I took. I'm not bothered by that by any means. But to the other side of the trade, there's nothing I could really take in. Not that I see. This black line will be the new week opening gap for ES, so relatively close. NQ is below London low, and yeah, I guess ES is as well. I mean, this really did provide a nice move up to this high. If you're in like right here, 30s to 45, that's a great trade. And then you're done before news and just done with the day. So there's always that factor to consider. Like, it's already given enough for you to find a trade. Whether or not we find one is, to be decided, right? It doesn't even matter. The point is, like, there was enough room to make money today for sure. Even that first NQ trade, had I managed it a little better, maybe it'd been done for the day. But no, I don't really care either way. It's not the end of the world. Because if you care too much about how you manage a trade, like you'll never have a consistent way. For me, I'm like, okay, I want to try to potentially make a little more because the move is kind of easy right here, and it just reversed. So if it kept going and I took it off early, I might have been like, oh no, I took it off early. So you'll never be happy if you're bothered by this stuff. But These right here, there'll be like one candle that pushes and then just folds immediately. Those are funny. It's just forming a wick. This stuff happens so often, and everyone's just like, "Wait, I need to buy it." And they'll be like, half the time there'll be big pushes too, and then just get folded over. So, yeah, look at that hammer. We'll see. Give it a couple more minutes. I'll watch till pretty much 10:30 the latest. No point in sitting here all day. There's going to be better setups at some other point. We're still kind of waiting on tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a big day for the markets in general. We're very close to the new week opening gap. I believe we touched the new week opening gap. Then maybe we see a reaction. That'd be okay. I'd go for that. So the common mistake I see with people in this, especially, I know I used to make it for sure. You just consistently try to buy the front side. You have no market structure shift. You have nothing to confirm that there's some sort of intermediate term low that's formed. You're just buying, and it's like all below the moving average, right? That stuff it's like some of the worst trading you could do. There's some people who do the opposite. They try to fucking short everything. They're like short, 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 short. Yeah, you got to avoid doing that type of stuff. It'll show you when a low forms. You just genuinely have to be like so patient with it that a lot of people just get bored. A lot of people get bored and they just want to rush it. There's no point. You'll have like a one out of 10 success rate trying the long. It usually will form some sort of higher low. It'll usually give you a clear market structure shift. It's very rare that markets just kind of move randomly without like any sort of indications reversing. So we're almost back into that new week opening gap. We'll see. And it's about the time where Drew's like, "See, I knew it was going lower. I knew it was going lower." It could go higher or lower. It's just what can we get positioned for? Sometimes there's a very obvious bias. I don't think today was super obvious. London tendency was just sideways. Swept prior day high. That's worth noting for sure. But I don't have a super clear read where I'm like, oh yeah, obviously just short the 15-minute gap. It's like, it's not that easy. The ranges are way too big for all that shit. So yeah, I suppose that short right here would have worked pretty well down to the bottom of this gap. Super slow trade. Super slow trade. However, smooth. This thing's behaving weird at the bottom of this 15-minute gap, so I'm just keeping an eye on it. If it gives me like a giant candle, nice higher low, then trade it back to maybe equilibrium, we'll go for that. I mean, it's been a very, very one-sided move, so maybe it dips, tags this new week opening gap, then gives that a little bit of a setup. Yeah, just chill for a bit. Okay, so now we're at the new week opening gap. This is really good. We'll see if we see a reaction here that we like. The 1 minute. So you can use this little guy as a breaker right here. I think I will.
Order filled.
The last trade I try. Maybe I rush it, maybe I don't. If it's going to react somewhere, it's going to react here, so I'm okay with this trade. So below the breaker, idea is it closes above here and doesn't just stall out. It can, but look at the 5 minute. The 5 looks good to me. Why are none of these fucking hotkeys working? There we go. So this up candle right here would be your breaker, and then just targeting something about equilibrium. Not really overthinking the trade. It's just, if it happens, it happens. Okay, NQ looks good. NQ gave a little fair value gap on the 30-second. Here's your 1 minute gap. So you want this to hold. I mean, it looks good. I don't see a problem with it. I think it's a decent trade. I think we positioned well for it. When we get above 56.20, I'll probably trail it a little bit. This thing could still fail though, so I'm not like all in on MNQ. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I think NQ looks really good right here. NQ looks really good, so good job on that. We'll see. We'll see. Just need this to break above this candle high. And then, yeah, we have this target right here. And I'm just targeting the top of that 30-second gap, give or take, right? So here, trail it a little bit. I could probably put it in profit, I think. Just like break even at the moment. I don't want to like trail it too tight just yet because we need this next 5 minute candle to form a bottom wick. So I'm just hoping it doesn't stop me out on the open of it. So this next candle is going to come down first and then it's going to go higher. So ideally just launches right here. Just launch to my target. Trailed it a little bit, but as soon as it starts pushing into this 5 minute gap right here at 21, yeah, I'll put it below the 5 minute candle. There we are. So now we're in profit. Fuck, I'm just going to make the same mistake again. Trail a little more. Nah, we'll play it safe. We'll set a good example. We'll just do the 406 right here. Anytime it starts pushing aggressive, I'm like, maybe I should let it run a little more. But then I'm like, why would I do that? I could just take the easy fucking trade. So stick to your plan. You're out, took profit. Yeah, I mean, it's a good trade. I think I'm out soon. It's either stop me right here or it'll just run real quick. I'm hoping it holds this gap and just runs. The location's great. The location's fucking great. So I just hope it's not a weak piece of shit. NQ did move better. That's worth noting. So this will probably trail me right here, and then it's just one of those days. So we'll see. Yeah, look at this 5 minute reacting to this fair value gap right here. I'm not going to hold through that. Come on, just flick. We'll see. I don't want the 5 minute candle to flip. It could still close higher, right? It doesn't need to flip right there. However, that's the point of failure for me. I don't want to see this thing reverse and stop me break even. So I don't really have an option of a stop in between. It's either here or just break even. That really went one tick from my stop. That's crazy. I would prefer if it just completely destroyed my stop instead of like hesitating.
Order
Are you
filled.
kidding me? So yeah, we're done. We're up. We're down on the day, I think. We just recovered like $100, so we were down 250. So we're down like 150. Not bad. The trade's just not working fast. NQ worked like a charm. Back to midnight open. Yeah. ES is just hesitating. It's so annoying. Nothing you can do though. So hopefully you guys learned something today. I took a couple stabs of something. I think it's a good trade. I think I trailed out a good spot. You're gonna watch right here. It's gonna reverse, and you're gonna see, wow, it'll stop me break even. So it's a good move to take it off where I did. I'm not gonna play with the stop. I have that stop measured for a reason. It's literally where it needs to be because I don't want this candle to flip and then it close lower. So definitely a nice little bounce, little counter trend trade. Took too many losses. Yeah, okay, for sure. I feel that. Yeah, yeah, for real, for real. What was that bang? Yeah, whatever. All right, well, good stream, guys. Got a couple wins, 2 wins, 2 losses, I believe. There might be a third trade in there. I think maybe 3 losses, so 5 trades, something like that. Down $150, not really the end of the world. So hopefully, you guys, like I said, learned something. Yeah, just trade safe. Trade safe. There's not much else I could say. Maybe this holds right here, but for me, I'm done with the trade. I'm not trying to be in this. Yeah, you might see that little sweep right there. So take care, everybody. We'll be on stream tomorrow. Yeah, stay safe. Later.